Manchester United's Mason Greenwood has had all criminal proceedings against him dropped by the Crown Prosecution Service. A statement has been released by the CPS this afternoon. I imagine a statement will soon follow from Manchester United. What I'm going to do at the start of this video before I pass my comment on it is read through the full statement from the Crown Prosecution Service. You can understand exactly what has happened. Okay, this is the full story. As I said, all criminal proceedings against Mason Greenwood have been dropped. Charges including attempted rape and assault against Manchester United for Mason Greenwood have been discontinued by the Crown Prosecution Service. Greater Manchester Police has confirmed in a statement. Greenwood was arrested on January the 31st, 2022 on suspicion of rape and assault, and further arrested on February the 1st on suspicion of sexual assault and making threats to kill. He was charged in October with 1 count of attempted rape, 1 count of controlling and coercive behaviour, and 1 count of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. All 3 charges related to the same woman. He had been due to stand trial in November 2023. Man United had, of course, suspended him, and this is what the Greater Manchester Police have said in a statement that's just been released. Criminal proceedings against a 21-year-old man in connection with an investigation opened in January 2022 have today been discontinued by the CPS. Chief Superintendent Michaela Kerr, she said this: given the significant media coverage of this case, it is only fair that we share the news that the 21-year-old man who had been arrested and charged in connection with an investigation opened in January 2022 no longer faces criminal proceedings in relation to this case. Furthermore, the investigation team has remained in regular contact with the legal team, providing any updates of note, and so understand the rationale for the discontinuation of proceedings at this stage, and that this decision has not been taken lightly. Despite the media and public interest in this case, we have decided not to comment on it any further. And the Athletic have a little bit of a further statement when they spoke to the CPS separately. We have a duty to keep cases under continuous review. In this case, a combination of the withdrawal of key witnesses and new material that came to light means there was no longer a realistic prospect of conviction. Apologies. In these circumstances, we are under a duty to stop the case. We have explained our decision to all parties. We would always encourage any potential victims to come forward and report to police, and we will prosecute wherever our legal test is met. But the first thing I want to say and pass comment on this is anybody who needs the links to any domestic abuse helplines, they are all in the description of this video. But this is not something I suppose any of us, or maybe it is something that you were expecting to happen. The fact that there's the CPS there mentioning that they've lost key witnesses, there's new evidence that's come to light, that we are not privy to. As far as Mason Greenwood goes as a Manchester United footballer, he is suspended and has been suspended ever since this case began, and we will wait to hear from Manchester United in terms of an official statement as to what happens next. But one thing I want to say here straight away, right? The whole system is pretty fucked in the UK. I don't know, it might be in the world. I'm just talking about the UK's one. Convictions for rape cases are somewhere down around 2 to 3%. When it comes to it, because of the lack, sometimes, well, the majority of the times, the lack of physical evidence, it is the word of one person against the word of the other. And when it comes to the court of law and proving something beyond reasonable doubt, so as far as criminal convictions go, so many cases, it's fucked. And this here, I heard those tapes. I heard it all. And I imagine that was your sister or your daughter or a friend or somebody. I heard them, right? So the fact that these proceedings have been dropped, does that mean none of that happened? No. It happened. I didn't Maybe it was naive of me to not think that's. I mean, of course, all these things can get dropped. We've seen various different scenarios and occasions where this has been dropped, but from the complete other point of view, this is what makes it so dangerous, because there are certain cases where there are false claims and there are victims on the other side. But as I said, the conviction rate is down towards 2 to 3%, and it's it's fucked. This whole situation has been, and this doesn't all of a sudden, oh, it's completely fine. Oh, come back in, mate. Oh, let's pretend nothing happened. Give the fuck over. You can't say that. You can't do that. We all heard what happened. The fact that this case has been dropped now means that something has changed. To reiterate and go back to this and the statement saying there, in this case, a combination of the withdrawal of key witnesses and new material that came to light meant there was no longer a realistic prospect of conviction. Who were the key witnesses that withdrew? What changed in the case? Now, we may never be privy to that information. We may well be. We can't expect to be, really. But this whole case has put a firm spotlight on such a... It's not the only time this has happened. I'm not speaking about Mason Greenwood. I'm speaking about rape cases, rape allegations. And as I said, reiterating there that the conviction rate is so low. Something needs to change inside that system, because it doesn't protect the right people. I'm not here. I don't know where I stand on this in terms of Mason Greenwood playing for Manchester United again after what I heard. Why would I? Why would I want him anywhere near Manchester United? I don't think my opinion's changed on that. But all the cases have been dropped. All the charges have been dropped. As I said, it's confirmed there by a statement. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see what Manchester United's perspective is on this going forward. Whether this is something that they believe they can move on from with Mason Greenwood. Whether it's something that you feel as a fan that you could move on. But I know what I've heard. And I know what I know what's happened. Now, maybe you're wrong there saying, you don't know what's happened. Could have been a deep fake. I mean, you really believe in that if you want that to be the case. I don't know where to stand on this. I really, really don't. It's not a comfortable situation for anybody to be in, and let alone the victim. And I apologise because I can't remember her name at this particular moment in time. But all the charges have been dropped. You can, I suppose, let me know where you stand on this. Has your position changed? Because I'm not sure mine has.